Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, 100% Pure Elvis. This isn't going to be a review of any of my collection today. What this is going to be is a top 20 personal favourite Elvis songs of mine. I have been asked by some subscribers of mine to do a list of my favourite Elvis songs, and I was going to try and do a top 40 like the UK charts of my top 40 favourite Elvis songs. But I actually found that quite impossible. So what I have done, it's took me a good couple of hours to come up with this list. I've come up with my top 20 favourite Elvis songs across the 50s, 60s and 70s. And again, this list is just my personal favourites, and there's going to be some in there that you might feel, oh, wonder why he's put that in his top 20 list. But again, this is my personal favourite. So I'm going to start with number 20, going all the way up to number 1. And number 20, I have put the Song of the Shrimp from the soundtrack to the movie Girls, Girls, Girls. Now, Song of the Shrimp was recorded on the 27th of March 1962. And the reason I love this song is I remember when I watched the movie Girls, Girls, Girls. It's my favourite song from the movie itself, and it's a very very different song for Elvis, and I just feel, again, it's a song that I do tend to listen to, or when I'm playing the soundtrack to Girls, 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 I do tend to rewind and listen to that song over and over again. So again, even in the movie itself, I just think it's a very fun song, very different for Elvis. So in at number 20, we have Song of the Shrimp. Number 19, now many people might feel, why is this so low down on my list? And it is the beautiful If I Can Dream, recorded on the 29th of June 1968 for the 1968 NBC special. Now, again, I did try and think, can I put this higher in my list? But I couldn't, because the songs that are above this I do prefer to If I Can Dream. So again, but the performance on the 1968 comeback special at the end in the white suit, it's beautiful, and it reached number 11 in the UK charts for Elvis, and it was his biggest hit in a number of years in the UK charts. So again, whenever I watch the 1968 special, always look forward to watching that at the end and seeing Elvis sing If I Can Dream live. The vocals were outstanding, and it is such a raw and emotional song, sung from the heart from Elvis. In at number 18, I have got Love Me, Love the Life I Lead. And this was recorded on the 21st of May 1971, and it is from the Fool album. And again, the album itself wasn't a good seller for Elvis in the UK, but again, whenever I put that album on, Fool, or it's actually called Elvis the album, but subtitled Fool, I absolutely love the song Love Me, Love the Life I Lead. It is, again, it's such a song sung with raw emotion from Elvis, and again, whenever I listen to it, it puts me in a place where I just want to rewind it and listen to it again. And it's my personal favourite off the Fool album. So number 18, Love Me, Love the Life I Lead. Number 17 is The Haunting, It's Easy for You from the Moody Blue album. It's Easy for You was recorded on the 29th of October 1976 at Graceland. And again, whenever I listen to the Moody Blue album, which is a personal favourite of mine from the 1970s, not my favourite album from the 1970s, but I think for his final studio album, I just think it's such a beautiful album. And It's Easy for You by far has to be my favourite on the album. A lot of people might say, well, what about Unchained Melody? But no, my personal favourite is It's Easy for You off the album. And it's very hard to choose, because there's a few songs on the Moody Blue album that I really enjoy. I also love Let Me Be There. But when it comes to it, I had to put It's Easy for You as my favourite. And again, so there we have in at number 17, It's Easy for You from the Moody Blue album. Number 16 is Until It's Time for You to Go. And this is from the Elvis Now album. This was recorded on the 17th of May 1971. And again, I think at the time the song was recorded, Elvis was going through a separation. I think him and Priscilla at that time had separated. And I think the song itself, the words are beautiful and it's got such emotional meanings behind it. And Elvis again is singing from the heart. This is also a personal favourite of my brother Wayne and my mum also. So again, whenever we listen to this song in the car, on vinyl or CD, again, it's just such a beautiful song from the heart from Elvis. So there we have, in at number 16, Until It's Time for You to Go from the Elvis Now album. In at number 15 is the beautiful song Tender Feeling from the soundtrack to the movie Kissing Cousins. Now, believe it or not, I only really started listening to this song around 2016. I was at the Elvis Festival in Great Yarmouth with Strictly Elvis, and we had to talk about soundtrack songs from movies, and this came up and it was played. And again, I just thought, why haven't I listened to that song more? So again, it is such a beautiful song from the movie Kissing Cousins. And again, it's a beautiful love song. And I've met the actress who he sang this to in the movie, and that was Cynthia Pepper. I met her at the Strictly Elvis Festival. So really fortunate to meet the actress who Elvis is singing this to in the movie. So there we have Tender Feeling in at number 15 from the soundtrack Kissing Cousins. The next one, in at number 14, we have I Just Can't Help Believing, which was recorded live on the 11th of August 1970, and this is on the That's the Way It Is album. And again, this was a top 10 hit for Elvis in the UK, and I just love everything about the song, the way Elvis performs it, the way he sings it live, the way he comes across in it. It's just, at that time, just it was like nothing he hadn't recorded before. Just it's such a beautiful song. And again, That's the Way It Is, as you would all know, is my favourite album from the 1970s. So again, I had to choose my favourite from That's the Way It Is, and I've got a couple on this list. So this is my second favourite from the That's the Way It Is album. So in at number 14, we have I Just Can't Help Believing. In at number 13, we have the beautiful Love Coming Down, recorded on the 6th of February 1976 from the album From Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. And what you have seen from my previous top 20 is I've got a lot of love songs in here, or a lot of songs that are quite emotional. And again, they're the sort of songs I love most. And but Love Coming Down is a beautiful love song from Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. And again, whenever I do put that album on, it's just a song that I really look forward to listening to. And again, I just think Elvis, the way he sings it, the chorus, the way he delivers the song, I just think it's just outstanding. So again, Love Coming Down in at number 13 on my top 20 list. In at number 12 is the only gospel song on my top 20 list. That's not to say I don't love Elvis gospel, I do, but again, I've just got these top 20 favourites, and this is the only gospel song on my list. So in at number 12, we have the beautiful How Great Thou Art. And this was recorded on the 25th of March 1966 from the album of the same name, How Great Thou Art. Now, again, I just love this as a gospel song because of its special meanings and how Elvis performs it, how he comes across live, especially in his concerts from the 1970s. I actually do prefer the live versions of How Great Thou Art from the latter years of Elvis's life in the concert years rather than the studio version on the How Great Thou Art album. But again, it's a personal favourite of mine, my mum's as well. So again, in at number 12, How Great Thou Art, which is the only gospel song that I have on my list. Number 11 is the song Almost in Love from the soundtrack of Live a Little, Love a Little. One of my favourite movies of Elvis, and again, I think it's such a beautiful soundtrack as well. You've got some great songs on that soundtrack. And Almost in Love is where he sings it to Michelle Carey in the movie, and it's such a beautiful love song. And again, whenever I watch the movie, I always rewind whenever that's being played. I think it's such a beautiful love song, and the way Elvis again delivers the song itself is just outstanding for me. And again, in at number 10 is the haunting Bridge Over Troubled Water, the Simon and Garfunkel cover version. And Elvis recorded this on the 5th of June 1970, and this was a live recording, and it is on the That's the Way It Is album. And again, he sings it beautifully. I actually prefer it to the Simon and Garfunkel version. And Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel said when they heard Elvis's version of Bridge Over Troubled Water, they were just astounded by how Elvis performed the song. I just think, again, Elvis pours his heart into that song, and again, just brings something very different to the song from the original Simon and Garfunkel song. So in at number 10, we have the beautiful Bridge Over Troubled Water from the That's the Way It Is album. In at number 9 is Let It Be Me, recorded on the 17th of February 1970. This is from the album On Stage. And again, I absolutely love this song because whenever I do play this album, it's a song that I always rewind, listen to time and time again. And why is it a favourite of mine? I don't really have a good reason behind that. I just think it's just a song that whenever I hear it from the album, whenever I hear it being played, it's just an amazing song, and I love the way Elvis performs the song. And again, it's my favourite from the album On Stage. Number 8 is another song from the movie Live a Little, Love a Little, and this song was recorded on the 7th of March 1968, and it is Wonderful World. Very fun song, and again, very different for Elvis, and that's why I love it. It's a fun song, it's an upbeat song, it's a song you can sing along to, and again, it's a favourite of my mum's as well. So I had to put that in there because again, because it's such a fun song, it resonates with me and my mum, and whenever I watch the movie Live a Little, Love a Little, it's possibly my third favourite movie of Elvis's. And again, that's my favourite from the movie Live a Little, Love a Little. People might say, well, what about Edge of Reality? Edge of Reality is outstanding. I love the original version of Edge of Reality, and I love the JXL remix of Edge of Reality, but I do prefer Wonderful World from the film Live a Little, Love a Little. In at number 7 is the first song from the 1950s that I have in my list, and it is from the movie King Creole, and it is Crawfish, and this was recorded on the 15th of January 1958. And I remember whenever I watched the movie King Creole, the opening sequence where he's singing King Creole, it's just so beautiful. And his diction, the way he comes across, it's such a beautiful song. And I actually get quite emotional when I'm actually hearing Elvis singing it, actually. I just wish there'd be more albums, especially released with Crawfish on it, because whenever you hear Crawfish, it's either on the King Creole soundtrack that gets released or from the 1950s. So whenever you see Elvis compilation albums, you very rarely see Crawfish being a song on there, but to me it's his outstanding song from the movie King Creole. In at number 6 is the second and final song from the 1950s, and it has to be my favourite song from the 1950s. Subscribers to my channel should know this by now, and it is I Need Your Love Tonight, and it was recorded on the 10th of June 1958, and this comes from the album 50 Million Elvis Fans Can't Be Wrong. And I love this because it's a good rock and roll track, and the way it's fast, very rocky, again very different from Elvis I felt when I listened to it. And again, this is my mum's personal favourite from the 1950s as well. So as I said in previous uploads, my mum had a lot of influence on me in regards to favourites, but again, this is mine and my mum's favourite from the 1950s, and it is the brilliant I Need Your Love Tonight from the album 50 Million Elvis Fans Can't Be Wrong. In at number 5, I've chosen this because it's a personal favourite of mine, and it's a personal favourite of my brother's as well. And growing up together, we used to always sing this together, and it's from the movie Blue Hawaii, and it is the song No More. And again, it's just a song that you can sing along to. The way Elvis comes across in it, I think the soundtrack to Blue Hawaii is just outstanding. Has to be my favourite soundtrack to any of his movies because of how strong the songs are within the movie. And No More, for me, by far is my favourite from the movie. Again, people would say, well, what about Can't Help Falling in Love? That's an amazing song. That means so much to Elvis. I know that was Elvis's personal favourite song. But again, believe it or not, that's not in my top 20. But I absolutely do love the song. I absolutely love the original version from the movie Blue Hawaii. And I love the studio version as well. But my personal favourite from the movie Blue Hawaii would have to go to No More from the Blue Hawaii soundtrack. In at number 4, we have the beautiful The Last Farewell. So as you all know, this was a Roger Whittaker song. So Elvis did a cover version of this, and Elvis recorded this on February the 2nd, 1976 for the album From Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. Many people to my channel know my reasons behind choosing this song. It has very special meaning to me because of my older brother passing away many years ago, and when I got the news that my older brother had passed away, I actually had listened to the album From Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee that evening, and for some reason, The Last Farewell, I did rewind and listen to it a few times over, and of course, later that evening, I got the news from my husband that my older brother had passed away. So yeah, I don't want it to be a depressing reason behind choosing this song, but it has a very special meaning to me. So I couldn't put it any higher because the top 3 for me are just, they were non-negotiable. So number 4, we have The Last Farewell from the album From Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. In at number 3, we have What Now My Love live, and this was from the alternate Aloha concert, which was recorded live on the 12th of January 1973. What a performance Elvis sings this song in, and again, he pours his heart into it, strong vocals, such an amazing version of What Now My Love. And again, there's a great version in the concert that was beamed live around the world, but I preferred the version from the alternate concert from the 12th of January. I just think, again, whenever I watch Aloha from Hawaii, the alternate Aloha, look forward to seeing Elvis sing this. To me, it is a song I will play over and over and over again. I'd actually go as far as to say it's my favourite song from Elvis sung live. And there's a lot of songs Elvis sang live that I just felt was so superior to the studio versions. So there we have, in at number 3, What Now My Love live from the alternate Aloha from the 12th of January 1973. 3. In at number 2 is a bonus track from the Spin Out album, and you're probably all aware by now. It is Tomorrow is a Long Time. What a great song. It is a Bob Dylan penned track, and again, when Bob Dylan heard that Elvis had recorded Tomorrow is a Long Time and he heard it, he said, that's it. You know, Elvis now owns that song, and I just think Elvis's version is outstanding. Again, the song is quite long for an Elvis song, but beautifully sung by Elvis. And again, this was recorded on the 26th of May 1966. And at that time, as you all know, Elvis was recording soundtrack songs for his movies that he was acting in at the time. And some of the soundtracks, as you all know, wasn't that superior. So recording this and it being put on the Spin Out soundtrack as a bonus track, I think was a great touch from RCA. So we have The Haunting, Tomorrow is a Long Time from the Spin Out soundtrack as a bonus track. My favourite Elvis song. I always go back to this, and it is Bringing It Back from the Today album. This song was recorded on the 12th of March 1975, and people are asking, why that song? Again, I remember when I started purchasing my own Elvis collection, when I started working and I started purchasing Elvis albums. Again, subscribers to my channel will know I used to mainly purchase the 1970s first because that was the music I was brought up on from Elvis. I actually had never heard this song before, believe it or not. So my mum, she would never play this song because I actually don't think my mum actually knew about it. My mum knew the top hits of Elvis. She used to always play the hit singles of the 70s or the hit singles from the 50s or 60s. You never got to listen to albums from Elvis. You'd always just hear hit singles, and for me that's fine. But when I got into collecting Elvis and purchasing my own collection on Elvis, I started buying the albums. I started buying them on CD first, because when I first started collecting Elvis, it was CDs. But I remember when I got the Today album on CD and I started listening to it, this song just stood out to me, and I just thought, what a great song. And it just resonated with me, and it is a song I go back to time and time and time again. And today, again, it's not my favourite album from the 1970s. That's the way it is. But this is my favourite song from the 1970s, and my favourite song personally to me because of the meanings behind it. I always remember listening to it. I think about when I purchased that album, when I listened to that song for the first time. And again, for me, Bringing It Back is my ultimate favourite Elvis song from the Today album, and it was very difficult to choose which was my top 20, but I always knew what was my number one song from Elvis. And I remember, again, I was at the Strictly Elvis Festival many years ago now, and I got a good friend who is on the team of Strictly Elvis, and his name is Paul, and he's one of the DJs, and he would always do requests, and I used to always go up to him and say, can you please play Bringing It Back? And obviously it's a very slow song, so it's not a song you can dance to a great deal. So Paul would always play it early on in the evening before people got up on the dance floor. And you would actually still get people not knowing too much about the song, believe it or not. You know, I had people come up to me and say, oh, what album's that from? Well, I've not heard that one in a long time. I forgot about that song. So again, I love talking about that song, Bringing It Back. So I'm just going to quickly read down my list to go through again what my top 20 is at this moment in time. It could change, but it's been quite difficult for me to choose a top 20. So number 20, Song of the Shrimp. 19, If I Can Dream. 18, Love Me, Love the Life I Lead. 17, It's Easy for You. 16, Until It's Time for You to Go. 15, Tender Feeling. 14, I Just Can't Help Believing. 13, Love Coming Down. 12, How Great Thou Art. 11, Almost in Love. We're now going into the top 10. 10, Bridge Over Troubled Water. 9, Let It Be Me. 8, Wonderful World. 7, Crawfish. 6, I Need Your Love Tonight. 5, No More. 4, The Last Farewell. 3, What Now My Love. 2, Tomorrow Is a Long Time. And number 1 on my list of top 20 personal favourite Elvis songs is Bringing It Back. So again, what's your thoughts on the top 20 list that I have just uploaded for you all? Please share your thoughts below. Obviously, everyone's got different favourites, and some people might say, how can you not like all Elvis songs? Of course I do. There's some ones that I won't play a lot, and there's other songs that I just think, oh God, I actually could have put that in the top 20, but I really needed to streamline it down to the top 20 of my personal favourites. So again, I really look forward to seeing what your top 20 is. If you can't do a top 20, maybe do a top 10 for me. Leave your top 10 in the comments below. And I really would look forward to seeing your comments on my list, and I will comment on your list. And as always, thank you for returning to my channel to watch this upload of my top 20 favourite Elvis songs. The vinyl behind me here, Elvis in Hollywood, I will be uploading later today, and I will look forward to speaking to you all soon. As I always say, please keep Elvis close to your hearts. Please keep on playing his music. That means an awful lot to me, and love to you all. Speak soon, everybody. Bye-bye.